Welcome back to the On Game Show. My name's Cam. This is Cam. This is Sly.
Hello.
If you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for being a part of the group, man. Yeah, it is. We did it again. It's another 2 weeks that we took off. So yeah. What the fuck is up, boys?
Tomorrow's October 1st, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
that's right. Yeah.
Spooky season, baby.
Spooky season. You can feel it change in the air.
Yeah.
You
Like,
can.
The smell of fall. I hope that's what heaven smells like. It's got to, right?
It's got to.
I don't know, dude. An old leather truck. Something about an old school truck. When you hop in Grandpa's truck, that smell. You know what I'm saying? Like of just an older vehicle. Something about that kind of. I hope that's what heaven smells like, personally. To each their own, though. Subjective. All right.
I hope heaven does smell like your grandpa's truck. I do. I hope that.
No, not just my grandpa's. Like, I think it's a universal thing. Like, there's a lot of other just older trucks or Suburbans, whatever. Like, you get in and like they have the leather seats. You know, they're freaking tearing and stuff. But the smell of the truck is like, it's a natural smell, but it's a good smell. As long as they don't have, freaking old Popeyes boxes and shit in there, it's good.
It's just like my grandparents. Every time that we got into their car, it was like fucking, like long 100s smell like fucking cigarettes. It was.
I have an appreciation for that smell too. I can't lie. Anybody who didn't grow up, around cigarettes, it's absolutely disgusting. And honestly, now it bothers me a little bit. But there's a little bit of me that's kind of like,
yeah,
it smells like memory lane, baby, something like that.
Speaking of memory lane, we were reminiscing a little bit about some elementary school stories.
You being a badass kid.
I really wasn't. I never got in trouble for it.
I like your hair right now, by the way.
I do too.
Super random, but
I like that.
your hair looks great.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So this is a hairstyle I never have done. It is Lizzie is obsessed with The Summer I Turned Pretty. I don't know if you've heard anything about it.
Is it a movie?
It is a series, yeah. 3 seasons now. 3 seasons? 2 seasons? 3 seasons. I think it's 3 seasons. Anyway, doesn't matter. Basically, the main guy in there that everybody's rooting for has this hairstyle, and she was like, you should try it. It's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it, dude. It looks good.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It looks good. It's perfect.
Yeah, you look beautiful, bud.
Thank you.
You look like, what's his name? Tommy Shelby.
Thomas Shelby.
Tommy Shelby. Dude, when I was watching that show, bro, I wanted to be like him so bad. I would sit in my old studio, and it was flooded, so all I had was a couch and a TV. That was literally it. And I'd be sitting in there, and I'd smoke a cigarette. Because he would always just smoke cigarettes in there, bro. Every scene, he had a cigarette. And I was like,
Yeah.
how the fuck am I supposed to quit smoking when like this make it look so badass, bro? You go shoot some up, walk off, and then they light it with a match, bro.
Yeah.
Like that
so
quick
good.
toss it. I'm like, dude, that dude.
Yeah, in the way he...
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta get back into watching that. I fell off.
I gotta get back into smoking.
But well, I never put that down.
We're
So
talking about the smell.
he set me up for failure. But shout out to him. But anyways, let's get into kind of what we have been having going on. I wish that you were there for shooting, bro, because we had quite a grand finale.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
I was supposed to tell him about it. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And Lizzie was so upset because she goes, did they get a video? And I was like, I don't think.
Dude, okay.
Oh my god.
I'll explain that.
So
All right. So, it was me, you, Steven. Was he here for that? Or you know him?
That was the first episode that he missed when Steven was.
Do you know who we're talking about though? 'Cause
Yeah,
tagged him
I
on
know
it.
the
Okay.
guy, yeah.
He was there, and then his friend Don, and Don brought his whole arsenal, bro. He had like 3 rifle.
Not even his whole arsenal. He
had,
had so
like-
many guns.
He had like, well, I'm saying like I have a pistol, and then this shows up 2 shotguns, like 3 or 4 rifles, an AR, 3 or 4 pistols, 2 or 3 pistols. I mean, he had everything.
And for context, we shoot over at Sly's property.
Thank you.
Yep, which has this tree line that's behind it, and we set up targets on the tree line. And there's always been this tree that just takes the heat. You know what I mean? Really.
Yeah.
It just happens to be the one that's closest. This
It doesn't
past month.
handle bullets very well, and and
Like most things, I guess. You know?
I don't know. Those other trees are standing pretty tall right now, baby. Well, we also got that steel target,
We got
but
time.
anyways, so when I first got out there, I seen that the tree had a yellow toast. I seen that the tree had a hole in it. Like you could literally, not through the dead center of it, but off to like the leftish side of it, you could see a hole in there. And I was like, Sly, yo, we should like take this thing down today, bro. So
it was a conversation about it.
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So I mean, like for the first, dude, we were out there for about 4 hours.
Yeah, it was about 4 hours. Yeah.
About first 2 hours, hour and a half, it was just me and him shooting pistols. And then Steven showed up and he just brought a pistol, so shot some more pistols. Don shows up, that's where we started getting fun. He had a little 22, but then he had, what did he have, a 12 gauge?
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Did he bring two or one?
I mean,
You
that's
had
a
one
shotgun.
too.
Yeah, I had a shotgun. Both of our shotguns were 12 gauge. His was a little longer.
Mm-hmm. He had a sexy design on it, camo. It was nice and camo
Nice.
with a matching strap as well. But and he had a bunch of buckshot in a box. Used up that entire box, right? Because once we talked about it, like Don even talked to us after the tree fell. He was like, "Yeah." After Cam mentioned like us shooting it down, I was like, "We got to make it happen now." I mean, I got a
Yeah.
box of buckshot and a 12
As
gauge.
soon as I took down the target, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna
Yeah. So we were just drilling that tree, and I thought that you would think these 12 gauges are gonna take it down, right? We're like, dude. So I'm standing behind him every time he shoots, filming. Don goes up, starts shooting. I'm filming. We go through all the buckshot, and it's not down. I'm like, I don't know if we're taking it down, boys.
Yeah.
What was the gun that?
He pulled out he was using his 1911 45.
That's crazy.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
but well, by this time, like that hole that I discussed in the beginning went
Yeah.
from about yay big to like this big, right? So we're talking a huge chunk in the tree. I mean, it's barely hanging on. And he starts shooting that, and I'm not filming because I'm like, dude, we're out of the 12 gauge or we're out of shotgun shells.
I'm
Like,
sitting
I'm
on
like,
the ground,
yeah.
and he shoots, I think 3 rounds, and then I hear a crack, and I'm like, I look up at him, I'm like,
I didn't
I go
hear
to
it.
pull my phone, and he keeps shooting. I'm like, it's not gonna fall, whatever. He
It fell.
finishes that.
I think it was literally his last shot, right?
Yeah, he
It was
finishes that
lit-
magazine and just.
And I was like, no, because I didn't get to film it. But again, I just misjudged. I didn't think that was going to be the one to take it down. But yeah, it was super fun, and I was just super happy that we got
Got to see it for all of this.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, that's
Uh,
awesome, dude. So there was a topic that I did want to bring up, if you guys are down.
Did or didn't?
I do. want to
Okay.
bring up.
All right.
And it's, usually we go a little softer in the beginning, but I want to dive right in.
Is this something I should have studied for though? Don't
Nah,
don't
nah,
give me
nah,
something
nah.
I should have studied for.
No, it's honestly a personal preference, but I want to.
Okay.
So I've been getting a little bit deeper in my faith. I've always been a Christian, but I'm getting a little bit deeper. When I had an experience, let me back this up.
Okay.
I had an experience where I was around people who did not agree with my faith. Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Every part of me was like, in a social way, was like, don't even worry about the points they're making. It's not up to you to sort the wheat. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it's not my judgment call, right? But if they ask me, I'm going to stand on business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They asked me my opinion. And I gave them what I believed was true.
Is this a recent encounter?
Yeah. And it is, luckily, it was around people who know me, and like the interaction went fine. Like it was
Yeah.
totally fine.
It was respected. Hopefully.
Yeah. And they, disagree, agree, whoever it was, doesn't matter.
Leave it there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it brought me back to a question that I posed to. So I used to teach like youth groups. I don't know if you know that.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I used to teach youth groups, and we'd host a thing every like Wednesday or whatever. It was a life group, right?
Mhm.
And I was in high school, they were middle school, but they kept bringing up like tough questions, and one of them was like, because they gave me this DVD to put in, and I was like, we're not watching the DVD. I'm like, we're gonna talk about some real stuff. You know what I mean? And we'll reference obviously the Bible because they all have their Bibles there. We're gonna go back and hey, this is what it says, you know. And this is when ISIS was happening.
Okay.
And they were talking about the like Christians being killed, right? And the question came up, and it was like, at what point do you deny your faith? And maybe not deny your faith to that extent of saying that I'm not a Christian, but not speak up on it. To me, personally, I like to say that, hey, look, you can throw me in the fire. I'm still going to be a Christian, and I'm still going to say that I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do y'all agree, disagree? What are y'all's opinion? At what point is it worse to stay quiet about something? Or as worse staying quiet about something as it is denying your own faith? What do y'all think?
Staying quiet isn't just not even speaking on it, or
Yeah.
staying quiet isn't kind of like saying what you have to, kind of like the situation we talked about before, where you're in a situation where it's like, do you believe? If you obviously say no, you get your head, you know,
Right.
freaking a bullet in your head or something. Is that, were you saying?
So
staying
the
silent,
opposite.
or-
If you believe, if you're a Christian, you're gonna get shot. Right? That's the idea, the premise. So do you deny your faith as for like to save yourself? And like realistically, what do we think our situation would be? Like, how do you think you'd react in that situation? Is what I'm trying to say. I cannot speak today.
No, you're doing
Yeah.
great, actually.
I don't see a situation where I would deny my faith. I can't fathom, gun to my head, not gonna deny. So I can't really say that there is like a scenario where denying my faith saved my life. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Second part of the question.
Uh-huh.
When is it just as bad not to speak up when you see something going wrong? And name the situation, whatever you want, because that's what I'm proposing. It's like, what is the situation where it's just as bad not to say anything as it is, you know, to deny it? And is that go hand in hand? You know what I mean? Is it just as bad?
Yeah, just denying.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
And I feel like that's kind of what I've been pondering on recently as well. So you're basically asking, is it just as bad?
Is there a situation where it makes it just as bad, and what is that situation to you? And I want to know, would you deny your faith if you were put in a situation of life and death, realistically?
On that, it's hard to speak for being in that situation because I know that, and I'm going to answer it, but
yeah,
it's so hard to know what we would actually do when we're actually put into the fire, when we're actually in there. Fear comes in, you know, a lot of different factors. I would like to say, though, especially with more of my research on my faith and everything and that, I wouldn't say that there would be a situation where I would deny my faith. And I don't know like a situation that I can really name specifically where I'm like, I don't know a situation where, I don't know. I mean, not on a grand scale. I guess on a lower scale, like whenever I'm hanging out with friends and stuff and, you know, things are going on. I don't know if I'm understanding your question 100% or not, but I'm taking it as there's like times where I hang out with friends and like they want to do stuff or introduce things that I know and my faith is not good and I shouldn't participate in, and I don't speak up and I don't speak for myself, if I'm going the wrong direction with this,
No.
Three
This
guys.
is just
But-
a proposed question, not necessarily a laid out
Gotcha.
scenario.
that's something that I've noticed a lot where I feel like, I don't know if that's just as bad. Probably could be argued just as bad, but that's something I've been thinking about a lot recently, of like a lot of the people that I hang out with. And, you know, when we go out and we do things and things are introduced, that I'm just like, you know, and all across the table of whatever it may be. And I'm like, I know that I should speak up, and I know even if they don't follow my faith, it's my faith and I should be standing strong in mine, but I don't. And that's a weakness of mine, where I fall for like peer pressure. I fall into situations that I know I shouldn't be in, but I kind of justify it myself, you know, and I'm like, deep down, I know it's not right. And I know that that's not good, but I don't know if that's just as bad as denying your faith. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, I mean, that's like I said. I don't know the answer. You know, what I mean, that's why I'm
Yeah.
bringing it up. I had a situation separate that actually. There's been a lot of turmoil about what I've been reading, trying to study, and practice. You know, as well. Like, it was crazy the other day. I had a crazy scenario. I was sitting in my office, and my mom had bought me 2 years ago for Christmas a beautiful Bible, and it had my name across it. It was, I mean, it, you know, beautiful Bible.
Yeah.
And I had it on my desk, and I was going through just some stressors, normal stressors in life, and I was like, I prayed for a second, and I was like, let me see what I need to see, right? And I opened my Bible, and it was the 23rd Psalm.
Like, you open it to whatever it opens.
Whatever page.
Okay.
The 23rd Psalm holds such a significant meaning for me, because it was the psalm that my grandfather, like, had all around him all of the time. It's my birthday, 23.
Nice.
And that's what he gave me, was like this bookmark of the 23rd Psalm for when I did my first communion in church, right? So it's always had this like significance to me.
To you. Yeah.
Insane that was like the first thing that I flipped to, right? And I was like, yep. Like, but the reason that I've been like going through this turmoil in my head is like, I've been doing a lot more research on like kind of like fundamentals of our government, and it ties in, I promise. And kind of looking at where it's mimicking based on the past, and it's kind of scary, you know. And I found that a lot of, based on my experience and the statistics, evangelical white Christians have a lot, like, they just deny not just God, but like pure facts. And they're the highest population of people that think like that there is no global warming or change. There's no racism whatsoever, and that America should not repent for what happened before. And they think that if, you know, because they have such a strong faith in God, that there's no way that we can destroy the planet that we live on or the government that we're in, like God won't allow that, right? But, you know, in my faith's a little different, or I interpret it differently, and that's what the Bible, you know, does. You know, it's interpretation and context, right? And it's like some of the arguments that are made, it's like, for example, one of them is like, there's no way that God would let us destroy the earth, right? Well, two things. One, they're like, okay, if global warming was real, then if we're melting the ice caps and we flood, right? God promised us that he would never flood the earth again, right? He made a pact with the rainbow, and, you know, that he would never do it. But it's not him who's doing it. It's us, right? Like, it's us and our choices that are doing it. And it's the same way as like Genesis, where it's like, you know, God created the earth and everything that was in it, and he saw that it was good.
Mhm.
But he made us for the Garden of Eden, not for the entirety of the earth. We were forced out of the garden
Mhm.
onto the earth to, you know, make our own food and find our own way, right? So it's like, it's so hard to, like, I identify with this religion. Religion is extremely personal to me. Like,
Mhm.
it's what you do, what you believe in is not going to agree with even people that may believe in the same thing as what
Right.
you believe in,
Yeah.
right? Based on experience. But man, I keep having these really rough interactions with other Christians that, and who are men of God, pastors, right? And the business that I work in, you see some really corrupt stuff
Mhm.
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
directly from them.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then you have this foundational base of Christians who don't really look at the big picture at all. Like, they're head in the sand when it comes to anything else, and you know, kind of some of the most cruel people.
Mhm.
You know? So I have this turmoil that's happening because I'm like, I know I'm a Christian. I know that I believe, no matter what, and anybody can believe whatever they want to believe. I believe that Jesus died for our sins, and I keep him in my heart, right? That's me. You don't have to believe that, you know? I do. And it sucks because it's like, I'm going to treat people openly the way that God wanted us to treat people.
Mhm.
I'm not perfect by any means. I'm a sinner, and I won't do it every day because I catch myself with anger, just like today that I was telling you about. You know, but foundationally, I'm not going to, you know, my point is that, like, I brought up that question because it's like I'm having these tests here lately,
Yeah.
and it's what I prayed for. I prayed for my faith to be strengthened. But no, you're like my best friend, so I wanted to kind of know your opinion on it, because it's like, do you stay quiet about that? About the things that you see when they're not being godly? Do you call that out even though they call themselves a Christian? Or do you stay quiet and say, you know what? They're going to lead their life. I'm going to lead my life.
Well,
And
let me ask you this. Do you feel convicted whenever you do stay quiet?
I feel a little bit of guilt. Yeah. I feel like, oh, I should have said something. I should have, you know, like, it doesn't matter the position the awkwardness or the, you know, that puts me in. I feel like by saying something, it's a part of, like, hey, you claim to be representing on the highest level, you know, and you're acting like this. But man, it's, you know, at the end of the day too, like, and dude, I'm not talking about one or two. I'm talking about seeing this on a normal basis with men of the church who come in and you're like, huh, how are you swapping out, you know, houses and cars and wearing these nice suits, and where's this money coming from?
Right.
You know what I mean? And they run small churches.
Mhm.
And it's like, do you jeopardize the business by bringing it up?
Mm.
To me, faith in God is much bigger than that,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But you know, there's this thin line. It's like, okay, do I have this? Will it even make a difference? Am I wrong for not saying it? Am I wrong for saying it? I don't know. It's a genuine question that, you know, I've been tested here lately with, and comment down below.
I like your question to that, the conviction feeling, because I think that's something important. Because a lot of times that I feel convicted, and then I'm like, why do I feel that way? Is that truly because I should feel conviction at this moment, right? And you said something about it being awkward, but what makes it awkward? Do you think it would be the way you bring it up? Because, and let me close that out real quick before I pass it off. Let me say, and I just got done saying, there's so many situations I should speak up and I don't. But I feel like overall we should. And I think that it's all about our approach to it. You know, obviously there's certain ways you can say things that either make it awkward or make it judgy, you know. That's always been one of my biggest things. I never wanted to be looked at as like one of those judgy Christians that just looks at everybody else and is like, oh, you guys are all doing bad, and it's as if they're just perfect, right? But I think the conviction speaks a lot, that you feel that. I think that that's something not to overlook, which I'm sure you already know that. Obviously, you're contemplating on it. And I think it's more of how you would bring it up. I think God would want us to make that effort. That's part of the reason I feel my conviction is because I always think back to, I feel like God would want me to at least try, at least try to say something. And, if they're completely closed off, then there's nothing you can do, right? And that's with anything. That's beyond religion. I mean, if somebody's just closed off in their brain, it's like, sure, you can try, but sometimes you got to know when to let it go. But I think the effort would speak volumes. And I think it's all about the approach. I'm sure we all have places in our lives where we could speak our minds a little bit more, but just do it in a respectful way. And I think if people can't honor that, I mean...
Well, it's like, okay, you have... And this is what I've been wrestling with, because there's people who believe in the prosperity gospel, that say that, oh, well... Because I it's like those shower thoughts whenever you're like replaying an event that you could have said something different or how that would have played out, and you really don't know how it was going.
That handshake I did earlier was so awkward. I mean, thinking about stuff like that.
So you're like, okay, and I was kind of reliving the day or the moment, and I was like, if I would have brought it up, I think one of the rebuttals they would have had was that God favors those monetarily as well as with blessings when it comes to practicing close to them. But so like their success is they would say that their success is a direct correlation with how strong their belief in God is.
Yep.
God wants them to be prosperous, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think men of the church should be.
Should be what?
Driving $150,000 cars and living in $800,000 houses. I think you have a duty where if you say, I gave my life to God and I work in his church and take advantage of the tax benefits that come with that, right? The on earth stuff, right? And that there's people who are giving their last dollar in your house of God, right?
Yeah.
You don't deserve to be able to do that. You should be helping the people that are donating that money, that are, that regardless if you own it or not and you're entitled to that money, it should go back to the community. It should go back to the people who are, and that should be something that you had a covenant with God to do when you became a priest or a preacher.
Can I ask you something real quick on that?
Yeah.
Where would the line be drawn on that? Because I feel exactly what you're saying, and I've felt that way multiple times. And I don't know the answer, but the way I look at it is, yes, you can have your blessings. I think that, especially with like, okay, let's say like a car situation, so they go get a really nice car. Okay, but how much did you do for the people, right? How much did you give donation money? What causes did you help? I think I agree with you, but I also feel a part of me where it's like, as long as you are, what is it called? Selfless, and you take care of others, say before you go get that car, you know, then do they deserve that car or no?
I don't know.
Right. And I don't know that answer either.
I just feel like there's always going to be someone you can help.
There's no benefit to you getting that car other than to yourself.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the tough part about it.
You know,
And
it's like, all right, you know, you're given, it just feels like they're taking advantage of in the wrong way. Like another example, right? Do you know why most hospitals that you see are like Catholic hospitals?
I don't.
So there's different rules that they have. Not only tax savings and money that they can make, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also they don't have a like standardized work person's protection. Meaning that like they don't have to follow the same rules of an 8-hour workday, right? They can work their people longer because the reason that law came up is that people that work in a church or affiliated with a church can work longer hours than what's typically allowed is because when they go on missions, they're working the entire time, right?
Okay.
So when you go overseas, you're not going to be on an 8-hour shift. You're going to be working the whole time that you're there, right? So they make it legal. Other companies, by being affiliate with the church, not only do they have a tax, benefits, but also they have different extensions of the law. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like if you are given those privileges by not just the state, or the country, but like you should have some kind of obligation, especially the reason is you're bringing God into it. If you're a true believer, you should adhere to those things, right? In a morally correct way, right? Like not in an ambiguous way. So like there's this idea of like a pastor or a preacher who takes money from their church and instead of investing it back into the people, if they go and live this luxurious lifestyle, it's like, how many people could you be helping outside, not just in the church, but outside of the church, where you're choosing to get these designer shoes, drive designer cars, and live in this house you really don't need? It's like, it seems hypocritical. Is what it seems like.
Yeah. It's unselfish.
Do you think?
Yeah.
But do you think it's because of their position in the church? Do you think that it's a different obligation because of their position in the church? The reason I ask that is I'm now comparing that to regular, everyday civilians.
I've started thinking about the way that I
was about to say I'm getting into the personal now of, I mean, I drive a Mustang that I don't need, and I could have done more for the world. And it kind of turns into a spiral because as soon as you start to look into that, it's like, well, really don't need much. At the end of the day, we don't need much.
Right.
If anything, we have a lot of excess
yes,
rather than just what we need. We have a lot of excess.
and that's the world we live in, or the country we live in.
Yeah.
And it provides that.
But I want to kind of know what y'all I do want to know what y'all think about that question though. What do y'all think about, do you think they have a higher obligation because of their position in the church, or do you think that obligation is the same throughout?
Two-part, and so I would like your opinion on this too.
Okay.
But 2 parts to it. I think if you're going to be a devoted Christian, you should live as close to Jesus as you can.
Okay.
And his teachings and the example that he set, we should try to be like him as much as possible.
Which is for all.
And by doing that, yes, the normal man, right, should take care of people, should do the most that they can do, to provide for the people that are less fortunate than you, and even the people that are more fortunate than you, give them the same love as you would somebody who's on the street.
Mhm.
I do think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, I think if you are committing yourself to be the example as
teacher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a teacher, you do have a higher standard.
You're signing up for it. Like
Yeah.
you're putting yourself in that position, knowing that when we go to church, we're not, we'll look at each other whenever they say greet your neighbor, right? Like look to each other, shake hands, good morning. But we're all looking to the same person, the
Yes.
same stage.
And if I greet my neighbor in the pew next to me and I shake their hand and they're trembling and they're sick because they can't afford, proper medication for something, or they're just toughing it out because they are waking up on a Sunday morning when they got off of work at 2 a.m. the previous night, but they made the effort to get here because they have faith. And you see that person get into their car that they're not sure is going to start or have the money to fix it because there's been a problem wrong with it for, as long as they can remember.
Mhm.
And then you see the pastor who just told us to give back and love thy neighbor and get into an S class.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel, and it contradicts the argument that they would make, which is, well, are you saying that they aren't a strong enough believer when they're actually sacrificing more than what you're sacrificing?
Mhm.
No, it's you twisting the word to me. Who knows if it's true, but
Yeah.
you're twisting the word to live the lifestyle that you want and say that this is the way that God would want, right? This is the
Yeah.
way Jesus would be living if he was here modern. He'd be rolling around in a Rolls Royce. He'd be,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He'd have designer suits because he'd be a celebrity. And, that's because God gave him these things. I don't believe that for a second.
No, definitely.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And it just feels, I don't know what to feel about it, and then I'm the one who's able to say something before it happens because I execute the thing that makes it happen, right? And
Yeah.
technically I have a fiduciary duty to not say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that is conflicting with what I feel,
Well,
Go ahead.
I'll say this. Too much is given, much is required. With everything, whether you're, extremely wealthy or make a little bit of money, make barely any money. Too much is given, much is required. So, that's my answer on that.
I don't think that God would be upset with you or Jesus would be upset with you for driving a Mustang that you love. Right? I don't think so.
Mhm.
But I also think he would ask you, what are you doing good?
What am I doing to spread the word, in
Right.
the name of Jesus?
And I've been thinking in those words in the name of Jesus and for I didn't grow up in a Catholic school. But I did grow up Irish Catholic and go to a Catholic church every summer, every Sunday,
Mhm.
wear your Sunday best. And towards the end of it, we did all Latin mass. You know what I mean? It was pretty serious Catholicism,
Mhm.
right? And it pushed me away in a way where it was like I heard those words so many times and I questioned, my faith, which I do think is important. I think questioning your faith is
Absolutely.
important and finding it for yourself.
Mhm.
I don't think you can have a real faith without it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Blind
think
faith.
anyone should believe
blindly.
No one should ever believe in Jesus because I believe in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible way to have faith,
Right.
right? It has to be conviction in your own experiences that you come across in order to truly believe, I think. Could be wrong, right?
You have to be fully convinced yourself. Absolutely.
Right. And what pulled me back into it is like, I imagine Jesus, you hear the thing, what would Jesus do? And you see the fish and it may, I to be honest, like, I'm like, because I grew up with that and nothing wrong with that. But to me, it always gave me this like, feeling, you know what I mean? And now I'm like, okay, Jesus and our relationship that we have one-on-one, not for anyone else, our one-on-one relationship, I imagine him asking me like, what would I have wanted you to do?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to look at it.
What would I have wanted you to do?
Right.
And are you doing it? Because one day, I believe, I'm going to have to answer that question.
Yeah.
Did you do it? You knew what you needed to do, and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
It feels as bad as denying him to me. Like, and that's what I've been feeling lately.
I've constantly see this photo all the time. And y'all have seen it with different examples, whether it's like music taste or something, but it's like a 2-lane road, splits off. It always says, I'm a Christian. And then the other side, and the I'm a Christian is flooded with people. And then the other road is I obey God. And it's like 4 or 5 people. It's just a couple people that are actually doing that. Because, it's not just, it is your actions. It is what we do on a daily basis. It's not just saying like, oh yeah, I believe in God, and I think God just blessing me with all these things, even though I'm not doing anything. Like, I think about that. I think about that again with my own personal life. I'm like, I look sometimes at my blessings and I'm like, dude, and don't take this the wrong way, but sometimes I look at it like, do I deserve this? I don't know if you guys have ever felt that way, but I've
For sure.
literally sat there and been like, do I deserve this? Because Satan gives too.
Mm-hmm.
Not just God. Satan gives too. And, it makes me question, like, am I doing what I should do? Because, again, it is those actions. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And, I mean, I guess it would be just as bad. I mean, because what are you if you say like, oh, I believe in God, but you don't represent God in any way, like, I don't know.
And it's like, I get into my nice car. I put on my nice clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, I justify. I go, I suffered for this. I did. I earned this.
Mm-hmm.
But who did I suffer for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's never enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's always
Can always do
the
more.
next decimal.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the next comma.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That I'm chasing. And, I didn't mean to turn this episode into a
Dude, this is great.
sermon, but
Don't worry about
it's
them. This is
something.
great.
It's something that's weighing heavy on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hope that if you come across this video, this may be the first time you're like, "What the heck am I watching?"
I didn't come here for Bible study.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't apologize.
At all.
It's my show,
Yeah.
our show, but hopefully you also maybe gives you a little bit of thought about it too, because
Hopefully.
I don't know.
We talked about it last time, the fence sitting. Bro, I think about it all the time, and I'm like, when am I going to hop off the fence? When am I? Because I do a lot of fence sitting.
And you know who owns the fence?
Yep.
There was this great clip I saw that I don't know what show or movie it's from, but it did resonate. It was this sharply dressed guy in a suit coming to visit this older woman, and he goes, "It's not fair. You're sitting in here. You've been kind and loving your entire life. And you're there and I'm here. I'm the man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How is that fair? And she says to him, Satan is like a really comfortable, nice jail cell.
Mhm.
And the door is wide open. You can walk out at any point, right? You can leave that comfort and you can walk out. But the door's open. I'm going to stay comfortable for a little while, you know? Until one day, it slams shut. And you can't leave that comfortable cell, right?
Yeah.
And here lately, I feel like I've been looking at a wide open door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing? You know, and it's crazy because it's like, I like my job. I don't love it. I like it. I tolerate it. I have stressors the same way as anybody else would. I built my little tiny little, you know, cage of success and actually have some authority and some respect. And it's like, is all of that worth it? Is any of that worth it?
For the bigger picture, basically.
Yeah.
For the-
Like, I know that what I'm doing is like, I help some people. I try my best to help people in my job, right? But it's not enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and I know that. I feel that. It's not enough.
When I get that same feeling here. I got it a lot in my last job at Best Buy. You know, because inside joke. Anyways, but my job was to sell people computers, and I was always on the bottom. I'm not very good at sales. I think I am good if I deny morality. As soon as I do that, I think I could have been on top.
Yeah.
But I was always on bottom, and they used to always talk to me like, "You're not upselling enough. You're not doing this. You're not doing that." And I'm like, "Okay, how do I upsell?" Well, you take them to this computer instead of the $500. Give them this $2,000 computer. And I'm like, okay, a broke college student that just needs a Chromebook. You want me to sell them this damn near like gaming PC, and I mean, I see it. Like, I see how that benefits in numbers, right?
Right.
Right.
It benefits in numbers. And then, I get praise around here, but is that praise good? Is that good praise? Personally, I didn't feel like it was. I stayed at the bottom because when I got in front of people's faces and it was time to do my job, I think we all have it. I don't know if some of us do have it stronger than others. Sometimes I feel we do. Sometimes I'm like, wow, you don't feel anything. Like maybe something's wrong here, you know?
Right.
But no, every customer that I came across, I was like, what's your situation? What do you need? And I genuinely tried to solve it from the best standpoint I could. I would try to sell them the best thing I could reasonably.
Right.
But they're telling me, no, that's not good enough. Like, take them. No, $500 more on a computer is not as good as
Yeah,
$1,500.
tell them they're out of stock on the one they were looking at.
Right. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I cannot bring myself to do that because I know they don't need it. I know that I'm selling them something they don't need, and I'm taking advantage of their lack of knowledge.
Right.
So then I'm like basically exploiting them and saying like, no, you don't know. I know I work at Best Buy and I work in the computer section. I know about computers and this is the one you need.
You exploit the trust that they're putting into you to manipulate and prey on them.
Right. For my own gain. Not just my own. I mean, I guess technically it would be my own, but then that goes to the company's gain, and that's what they reward me for doing.
Yeah.
But they don't reward me for being good to people. They don't reward me for giving them what they actually need. They never say, hey, Cam, I'm glad that you sold that woman who only had $500 the computer she needed and didn't try to get her on a credit application and
Right.
do all that. They never rewarded me on that. And I always felt that sense of conviction when I did that job. So I guess in short, I mean, I totally get that feeling, and it's super tricky because it's like, dude, we got to pay our bills. And I think just about anywhere you can start to find those, not everywhere. And like, it's just when money and things get into it, it complicates everything because it's.
Well, I was bringing these feelings up to my wife, and I was like, hey, I feel really strongly about this, right? And she had a great suggestion. She was like, start small. She's like, you don't have to jump off, right? And she's like, if you think that God is sending you this, giving you these feelings, right? He's like, then God will also be able to read your heart in order to know that you're trying, right? And she's like, why don't you start? Because I've been talking about it for a while. Of like, I think where I would be the most beneficial is doing like personal finances for nonprofits. And what I mean by that is like not even the full business, like single mom who has been in an abusive relationship for 20 years and does not have anything of her own, not even a bank account, not her own anything, right? Doesn't have a phone, doesn't have anything. Helping those people with getting, because I mean, dude, I have enough experience. I've worked in real estate, I've worked in cars, I've worked in all the businesses on the finance side and do nothing but help people with their credit and build budgets for people and lay out plans. It would be so easy for me, especially somebody who doesn't have the knowledge, to be like, boom, this is what we're going to do. These are your next steps. We're going to get a job here. We're going to take that money, do this, this, and this. We're going to open you a bank account. And the limited resources you have, this is where we're going to allocate it for the best way. It's not going to be comfortable, but it's going to be a lot better than you going into it dark, right? And then big purchases. I can help them get to the next step of like, hey, let's get you some reliable transportation. Even if it's a motorcycle, a bike, or whatever. Let's get you to that next step. And I think donating my time with my skill set would make me feel
for good.
Better. Yeah. Not doing it at all for a profit. Doing it just knowing what I know how to do and how I could actually help somebody and taking a step into that direction and possibly later on that becoming everything. You know what I mean? But
I like that.
I don't know. It's it's something that I've done for friends. I've helped change people's, I'm not saying it like a braggadocious.
Yeah,
like,
you're good.
It's changed people's lives to be able to be like, hey, we know what's happening and this is the next steps we need to do. We know where the money's going, right? And we're managing it well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That opens a whole nother like freedom for people because they have a purpose of why they're doing something, not just I'm going paycheck to paycheck. I don't know where it's all going. I don't even know what the next step is and moving right. Yeah. Like it's also hope.
And help them clear their head and give them more directional focus.
Hey, if you're feeling like your card is declining at the cash register, you can have some kind like you don't have any money, that didn't change, right? But knowing why and everything else is taken care of feels a lot better than going, fuck, I have no money. I don't even know what's coming up. Am I not going to... Then
you start spiraling downwards. And,
exactly. Yeah. Hey, instead of, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to keep my house or my car, I'm going to hit this pipe. That's what takes people down. It's an escape. Mm-hmm. If you know what's going on and you have a plan and you go, you know what? I'm broke, but guess what? I know I'm moving in the right direction. Yeah. I know I got what I need taken care of. And even if it's not even that, I've got exactly what I need to be focusing on done. You know, I think that would be important for people. But I don't know. It's something that I want to start doing, that I'm going to start doing here soon. And just my time. The skill set's already there.
Yeah.
But the time and just giving it to people with not expect anything in return is something that I think Jesus would want me to do. And I don't know.
I like that idea. I think that's good. I think I like that I like that Lizzie put it that way too, as well, as of like don't go overboard, just ease into it.
He's like, you don't have to change your own life.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
because and I mean, even if you did, I do believe that God's got you, you know, no matter
For
what
sure.
what you do. Sometimes that's hard, and you know, we say that, but we're like, okay, but you know, it's scary to take a free fall. But I like that way of thinking it, of just getting into it, and then like if you're getting more happiness from that, and you genuinely feel like you're fulfilling people, like that's truly worth more than money, you know, because I feel like a lot of the things that we do for money, we're just doing it. Like there's no real intention behind it. It's really, there's one intention, you know, we get to in work and everything, and we find ways to enjoy it, right? Doesn't mean we're really benefiting anybody. It just means we're making the best out of the situation that we're in, right? So yeah, I mean, I think if you've got the free time to do it, and if that's what your heart's calling for, like absolutely, I would support you in doing that.
Yeah.
You know, So,
Appreciate that, boys. I do. You know, I'm a true believer in you get emotions, feelings, events, all of these things happen at a certain time
Mm-hmm.
and exactly when they're meant to,
mhm.
right? And I've been feeling that way for a while,
Mhm.
you know, and it's just now that I was like, it's up to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to get any better. The next big purchase isn't going to make me feel better. The next, you know, like I said, comma in some account is not going to make me feel any better.
Yeah.
It's about what, like you said, the stuff that's worth more than the money.
Mhm.
And
I
you know,
truly think that's the stuff we're going to take with us. I do think stuff goes with us. It's just not materialistic.
Yeah.
It's our experiences, emotions, feelings, all of that. I do want to ask y'all a question, but we're about at an hour mark. Do y'all want to wrap up this one and then jump into a fresh one? I need to refill my drink as
yeah,
well.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Take your bathroom break, or you want to? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, you're good. This has been the On Game Show. We played one. We didn't even finish one, but thank you so much for listening to us, and hit the subscribe button if you liked what you enjoyed, and also comment down below and tell us a little bit about how you're feeling too, because we're gonna be vulnerable with you, and be a little vulnerable for us. Maybe we can all be a community of softies. So have a great day. Be a good one. You know what that feels like. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.